Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this live stream event. My name is Alexia, and I am the program manager of the Microsoft Reactor Toronto. I will be sharing session resources with you in the chat, but before we begin, I'd like to quickly review two items, our code of conduct and event guidelines. First, please take a moment to review our code of conduct. Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. And secondly, our event guidelines. This session is being recorded and will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 24 to 48 hours. I will be sharing the link in the chat for our on-demand content. And if you have not been on a live stream to YouTube before, please note that you must create an account on YouTube in order to have access and interact in the chat. You can set that up now. And if you're unable to use the chat but have questions, feel free to reach out to us through social media or on our website. Which brings us to today's session. I'm going to bring in a speaker here for today. Hi, Anna. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing, Alexia?
Fantastic. We're so excited for having you again on the Reactor. Thank you so much for joining and presenting this session today.
Of course, it's my pleasure to be here.
Amazing. Well, without further ado, take it away.
Great. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ana Ines. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm currently in South America. That explains why I'm red. And you will see me that I have a wet tissue for my hands and stuff. So yeah, apologies for that. Also, huge apologies for the change we made in the date. That was my mistake. I was traveling, so I couldn't make it. So yeah, just huge apologies. Yeah, as I said, I'm a Microsoft MVP. I mainly work with business applications. I started with Dynamics 365 and I slightly moved to Power Platform because we all know that it's much interesting to work with Power Platform than ERP, right? So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And there's the session for today. It's about a feature that was announced, I would say, less than a year ago, but it finally became reality. Reality as in we can test it, we can play with it, not so long ago. So the topic that we're going to discuss, as we mentioned in the intro, is Power Apps Plan Designer. And the idea is to walk you through a couple of things that may help you and also to help you understand what actually this is for. For those who have been working in Power Platform, we're going to be on Power Apps, which is, of course, the solution that we use for creating applications. And maybe if you've been exposed to Power Apps before, which I assume you did, you've been seeing more and more AI features coming here. And that's mainly what we're going to see. Power Apps Plan Designer is like a mix that will help us make our apps a lot better than we do, because it's not only helping us with the design or the front end like we did before, describe it to design it, but it's also going to help us with the roles, with the segregation of duties, and some other things like the user stories and so on. So as you can see here on my screen, I'm in the main page for Power Apps, which means that I'm in the landing page. You can see that everything is normal. But the difference that you can see here is that I have a button that says try the new Power App experience. When I enable this, please pay attention because it will go super fast, hopefully. And if we turn it on, you can see that it changes a little bit. So you can see here that it says create a solution for almost any business problems. You can see that disclaimer is constantly here about AI because, of course, of the responsible AI guidelines that Microsoft is providing. We do need to be very careful with the solutions we create with AI. But yeah, the disclaimer will be everywhere. You can see it in Copilot Studio or in Automate, many places where any even Copilot in Microsoft 365, like contents cannot be accurate or hallucinations may happen or stuff like that. So what you see here is, as I said, create a solution for almost any business problem. That means that maybe some of them might be too tricky for this to be created. What I'm going to walk you through today is basically how we can create or what are these plans. So you could see how we play with this more and more. And then I'm going to share with you some resources where you could see, frequently asked questions. Maybe you haven't prompted before and you would like to. You can see I have a couple of blogs about it. You could see how to do it, and maybe you're comfortable and then you jump right into the plan designer, or if you're a pro already, yeah, some of the other documentation from Microsoft might be really useful. So as you can see, the same that we had in Power Automate describe it to design it, we have here some prompts. And you can see that they're very simple. Like, I need my staff to check out equipment and be notified of the due dates. So maybe I take something with me and I book, and then I need to return it in a certain date. And this notification should come to me. A disclaimer that I'm going to make before we jump into the creation of the plan is that when you will see that one of the last steps are the user experience components that it will give us. And those user experience include, of course, apps, which is mainly the why we're using this, but then it will suggest Power Automate, or it will suggest flows or automations. The automations are in the pipeline to be developed as part of the roadmap, let's say. Um, and what will happen here is that we will see them, but they will not be created. That's the difference with the apps. The apps will be created. So the flows will be something that we will need to do in the back. But if you compare building everything from scratch and or building only the automations, this makes much more sense. For those who are wondering when this feature of also the creation of the Power Automate will be will be ready, I don't know. So we will have it sometime in the future. And certainly it's a recurrent question that we've been asking and asking. So with this disclaimer made, we can see, as I said, this example. Then, for example, this one speaks to me very well because it's, well, maybe you don't know, but I love HR, and I see HR challenges and I want to use technology to solve them. You see here that we have employees need to log vacation days and managers need to approve them. So this is very simple, but still we need an application that will, employees will need to log their vacations and the managers will need to receive a notification, approve them, or do something about it. And then, well, I don't know, for example, tracking projects, or something like approving projects, customer feedback, help desk. So you name it, almost anything can be solved. Another disclaimer that I'm going to make: this environment is set in the US. That's the reason why, so sorry, some of you may not have it. If you don't, just try to create a developer environment and test it, created in the US, so you can just try this new Power Apps experience. If you don't have this appearing in your environment, in your Power App Studio, just know that it's because probably the location of your environment is not in the States. We already know that. We work with Microsoft all the time. Um, all right. So what I will do is I will, let's go to the employees one because I really liked it. Where I'm just going to going to select this prompt. You can see that it's for sure natural language. It's nothing too fancy, nothing too complex. It's employees need to log vacation days. So I'm clear about the user. I'm clear about the need. Um, Employees log vacations, manager approve them. That should be enough for the Power Apps plans designer to create the app. So here I have, I could add some other, you know, some other flavors or colors to this, but I think I'm going to keep it simple, like kiss. You know what that means. So we're going to select enter, and you will see that things are going to happen. Um, Let me zoom out a little bit. You will see that the business problem is generated based on the prompt that we gave at the beginning, which is the same. Um, it's employees need to log vacations, managers need to approve them. As I said, in the top, you have the items with the cute stars are AI generated. So you need to check everything. Um, you also see that it goes like step by step. After a business problem, you have the roles. So the user roles basically, we have the employee, we have the manager, which are the two that we establish in the business problem. So employees log their vacation days, and then what do I need to do as an employee? I need to log my time, so it's recorded. I need to see my remaining holidays. I hope I have to edit, in case I requested some time and then I didn't take it. I need to be able to edit that or delete vacations that I didn't take, incorrect entries, edit, notifications if I get my days approved or not. Um, and yeah, the status if those requests are moving forward. And then, of course, something that is basic should be at the very beginning is submit vacations ahead of time. So maybe I have already my plan for 2025 time off. I need to submit that, so I can submit that with this role. Then we have, of course, the manager role. And you can see that we have these cute little icons, which I'm obsessed with. Makes the experience much nicer. You can see that the rounded corners of everything makes it much more appealing. Um, all right, so the manager needs quite the opposite. Like the piece that compensates the employee role. So approve or manage vacation requests, view remaining balances for all the team, as well as view all the calendar of leave for the team. Yeah, receive notifications on the vacations that have been requested. Yeah, filter some vacations, manage overlapping of the vacations of the team, and so on. For example, set blackout dates for vacations. So some periods that are very busy are blocked. And the last one is generate reports on vacation days so we can analyze time off patterns. Maybe everyone wants to take off Monday, and that's because they've been partying so hard in the weekend that they need time to recover. A cool, very cool feature that we have here, um, we need to read through the roles. We need to verify that the roles fulfill what we're asking for. You can see that it gave me much more than I would expect with that really small prompt. Almost, sorry, also, if I was going to do it on my own, by myself, it's very likely that some of the things that I would want, like the report on the vacations day, it will not be my problem. It will not be one of the things that I will have in my mind. It will definitely be far behind. I wouldn't think of it. I just think I log vacations, manager approved it, the end. But here you can see that this feature, this Power Apps Plan Designer is giving us much more. Okay, so here you can see that it's giving me, if you read it through, it's asking me to accept the user roles. If we accept these user roles that we're going to do, because actually they were really good, we're going to accept them. And will start thinking again. And you will see that it's going to identify the tables and the columns that we need. Um, It takes a minute, but honestly, it's nothing compared to the time that it will take us to create the tables, even if we use the describe to create feature in Power Apps. And it will identify all of these tables that we need. We can verify those tables as well, and yeah, make sure that we agree. Here, I will zoom out so we can have a look. Oh, sorry. All right, so you can see here that we have four tables. We have the employee, manager, vacation request, and blackout date. We can see the details. It will bring us to a second screen where we can see the details and the relationship between the tables. Let me zoom out a little bit. So we have the employee table is linked to the vacation request table. Then we have the manager, which is linked to the blackout date. So this is how the relationship between the tables have been done. Let's see here. We have all the fields that are part of this table, and the same here. Some of them are quite simple. Some of them are not so simple. Okay, once we do this and we think, okay, this is enough, we can view the data. Not really sure if we have any data, but let's see. Yes, we do. We have random data, which is actually really helpful if we want to create the solution and have it demo ready for it. You can see the content of the table with all the information. So we have the manager and the blackout date that has been set in the calendar, for example, white training or I don't know, budget planning, so people cannot leave in that time of the month. This one is for blackout date, but let's go, for example, to employees. Let's go to view data on employees. You can see that also we have, that we have this table that has all these names, the departments, which are quite representative of any company. So if you're using this for a demo, you can see that speaks to mainly all of the departments, mainly to all of the businesses that you work with. Email and remaining balance of time off, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and so on. So this is stuff that is already created for you and that it's there. And it's so nice. So you don't have to add those demo data or trial data, or you can just, once it's created, customize it, play with it, and just get it going. Start playing with it. Start the testing and stuff instead of logging all the data in. Okay, cool. And then let's see the managers here and just view the data so we don't leave them behind. We have the same. So here we have, for example, Frank is the HR department and so on. Very good, very cool, very cool. Once we said, okay, this is more than enough. I like this, which we're going to do now. We're not going to play with difficult scenarios. We're going back and we will say, okay, I lack this data, so I'm going to accept it. And then it will identify the user experiences. And this is where I think that the collection of everything comes to place. And and we have the final result that we're looking for. You can see that we have, and this is more of a personal, a personal observation. I might be wrong, but this is based on my experience and at least my practical approach to things. I do believe that having, like in this case, 3 apps is way too much for this situation. So this is part of the feature, right? We need to provide feedback so we keeps improving and so on. You can see here that we have 5 experiences. There are 3 apps, which are employee vacation, manager vacation, and blackout date management. And then we have these 2 flow or automations, which are vacation request notification or new vacation request notification. So what we can do is we can go here and we can have a look at each of these apps, right? So this Power Automate flow will be here. This Power Automate flow will be here, but it won't be created at the end, or at least it wasn't created last week. Maybe now, we never know with Microsoft. Maybe, yes, it's already ready. Anyway, let's go to the employee vacation app. Let's just, oops. This it's a little bit okay. So in the employee vacation app, you can see that employees are able to log, view, edit, delete, and submit requests and track their status. And the same, it will be pretty much the same for here the managers. Sorry. Approve, reject vacations, view team vacation history, and generate reports. And then last, we have the blackout dates management app that is model driven, and it's for managers to set these blocked periods of time. Each of these apps that have been created are taking the tables that, of course, we already created, and yeah, they're making the magic to arrange those tables in a way that makes sense to the applications. So yeah, we can see, okay, maybe yeah, okay, so I think this is good enough. If I don't think it's good enough, we can test it. Maybe we can test it here. I've never did this retesting of the apps. Maybe yeah, I did it with the user experience, with the user roles, but not with this piece. So let's say I want only one app to manage all of these processes. Let's see if it understands what I'm asking for. Okay, so we'll see that these objects will address the needs of your users. They use them to get things done. Okay, let's see if this is yeah, let's see if this solves my problem. We're gonna try it out. Why not? And then here we can say, okay, do we accept this user experience or not? And if we do, let's just go with accept. Okay, we have like a congratulations here message that says, yeah, everything that we gave you, you have been you accepted it. So please just yeah, start playing with it. So here, let's go to the eye, and here we can see a comprehensive app for employees to log, view, edit, delete, and submit, and for managers to manage everything. So it's just a matter of communication, is everything in life. Okay, we like everything, we like the name, we like everything, so we're going to let's just save it. Vacation manager, we're going to save it, and we're going to have a look at it. Starting over. Sorry for that. Oh, there you go. We have our app again. So we're going to select this icon. Oh, it went out. Okay, great. So we're going to select this tiny icon of plus here, and it's going to take us to the tables. We see the tables, and we need to have a look if we agree on these tables. Tables are being saved, and once they are saved, we can start over. Sorry, not over. We can start to have a look at the app and check if it makes sense to our need. Let's hope this doesn't take forever. If it does, we have a backup plan, as always. So let's see. What I could do also on the side is just, there we go, to see if we have this already built in our Power Up Studio. Sorry, it's starting to get slow. Let's see. It's saving tables. This is completely broken. Just hope it works. Okay, perfect. So we have the tables having created and saved. We just go to the plus, and the app will load. Let me close this one in here, and the app will load. You will see that the app is pretty. The look and feel will be very, very basic. So don't panic, because that is one of the easiest things to do if you have a good eye, or if not, there's a lot of people doing really cool stuff with CSS and HTML. So you just can, you know, go and learn a little bit on how to make it pretty. The main point is, what are we solving and how are we solving it? And that is what's happening here. You can see that everything is loaded in the studio. I'm just going to zoom in when this appears. It's you can see it quite good in your screen. And we're going to close properties. Of course, this takes a minute, but you can see that it's 20 minutes in, and we already have the users, we already have the app, we have the idea of the automations that we need to create, but then the rest is pretty much there, right? It's ongoing. So compared to something that may take us a lot of time for us to do, it's quite nice. Okay, so we have our welcome screen with the different sort of items. Oops, sorry. And you can see that we have here in the tree view, we have different screens as well. We have the employee screen, the managers, the vacation request, the blackout dates, and the ones that we were seeing right now, the welcome screen. You can see also that we have containers we have the container in here in this welcome screen, then header container, what it has, and the main container, that it has all of these other containers. Sorry, everything is about containers. And which each of this is like, blackout dates or employees or so on. So you can see that pretty much all the components are created. To be honest, it's not really bad user experience. I'm not a fan of this standard blue, but it's fine. But the edges are fine. The way that things look like are fine. For being a Canvas app, it's quite good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go between different screens and just play around to see what actually this Power App Plan Studio Power App Plan Designer, sorry, gave to me. Okay, let's see if we can put it in canvas size. There you go. Maybe if it's too little. There you go. So we have our welcome screen. We have the blackout dates. You can see here the blackout dates are, for example, between 15 of July and 10, sorry, between 10 of July and 15, from 2 to 2. The description says that there's going to be a system maintenance, so no one can go on sick leave, on on vacation, sorry. And then we have, all these things here. If I wanted to create a new record, we just go to new, enter all the data that we need, and just save it. We're not going to do it. And you can see also that I can edit and so on. We don't want to change much over here. So let's just go to the home. We said blackout dates. We already went there, but let's go to the interesting stuff. Let's go to the employees. We have the list of the employees here that can, that will show us the list of the people that are logged in the app as users and as employees, sorry. And that's what will help us to understand who is part of the app. If we go back to home, you can see also that we have the managers. The managers is pretty much the same. So it's the same sort of table. The previous one contained something different that I don't remember now. Let's check it out. The previous one contains, of course, the remaining vacation days, but the managers one does not contain that, which is fair because we don't need that. And we know that every manager is an employee, so they will be here, and also we've listed in the employees piece. And then we have like the core component of our app, which is the vacation requests. If we go here into vacation requests, you can see, the names are not pretty, that's fine. But we can see that we have these requests from here, from the 20th of May to the 25th of May. it was requested the 1st of May, which means that it's been very quite well planned. And we can see also the approval status, the approval date, which is also very diligent from the manager, and then rejection date, if rejected, rejection date. And then the reason can be family reunion, can be predefined reasons, and so on. And the employee that has been that requested this. Let's see if we have one that it's rejected. That would be fun. Medical leave, pending. So here we have the case of a request that has been submitted and it's pending. It was sent the 1st of January, and the start date is the 10, and until the 15th of January, and still pending. So that means that the manager has not reviewed yet. Probably they're on holidays. It's maybe 1st of January is not the greatest date to submit it in time off. I would like to see if we have a rejected one. Here we have. So we have also the 25th of February. It was requested for the 1st until the 5th of March. Charlie, it was going to take time off for personal reasons, but apparently he did not convince enough to the manager. So this was rejected, and was rejected 3 days after it was submitted. So if you think about how fast we made this, and with the very little information we gave, because if you remember, the prompt was employee needs to leave to log vacation, managers need to manage this time off requests. This is what we came with. So we have like a full app that, maybe you don't like it. It's not super appealing. It doesn't have the icons that I would like to have. It doesn't have, maybe a lot of flavors, but still, it's a functional app that we can test, improve a little bit. Maybe, for example, the reports that promised that I could have here, they're gone. So, that's what happens with AI sometimes. But this means that everything that I asked for, I'm actually getting. The problem, or maybe the challenge that we have here, is the biggest challenge that we have here is, does the client really know what's their business need? Because that will be the basic step where we start from. Basically, yes. So if we don't know, or if we cannot assess what the client needs, or the client does not, the client or the organization, whatever, doesn't know what they really want, the Power Apps Plan Designer might not be the best very first step to take. Probably we will need to go with a discovery and some brainstorming sessions to find out, and then jump into the Plan Designer. Okay, so we have our vacation manager here, and we're just going to save it. Let's hope it doesn't go start over. Okay, so it's saved. We can go back. And if we go back, it should bring us to the main page. And also you can see here that we have the plan, and I didn't add anything. It says this solution will allow employees to log and manage their vacation days, and managers to approve and track team time off efficiently. I didn't add this, I didn't put anything here. But anyway, here we have our plans, and that means that has been created. We can still check here other solutions. What you will see as well is that normally when you don't have the new experience, the Power App experience enabled, here we have home, create, learn, and apps. And now we have the plans as well. So if we go to the plans, you can just have a look, and it's the same feature, just it starts either with you start from Chrome or you start here. So a plan is it's an AI powered solution to a business problem, and then we can have a look. Note that this is in preview, which means that maybe we'll love it like this and something will change, or maybe we'll love it like this and it will stay like this forever. Hopefully very soon with the automations, because that's one of the key points for me that we need to have. Even though it doesn't give us the automation, it gives us the idea of the automations that might be needed, or automations that we are not aware of. And that, yeah, that is, it's quite nice. All right, then. We will have a list of our plans, and that will be it. I'm just going to do a quick refresh of what we've been discussing. If you're here in home and we go here and disable the new Power Apps experience, you can just see this stuff, right? So we have home, create, learn, and apps. We don't see anything about the plan. We see that this is centered, the colors are different. And then if we just go unenabled, this everything changes, and it's yeah, you can have a look. Here we have the plans, and here we have the description of the business problem to start to trigger this plan designer, sorry. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm going to leave this site, and we're going to start to dive into pretty much all the resources that are available for you or for your client or for your colleagues to have a look at. So we're going to start with the Microsoft support documents that we have. That I like to start with those officially, always. And then we move into some of the things that I created that might help you either with a plan designer or with a previous step before jumping into the plan designer. So here you see that we have this blog that, sorry, this blog that has been released, and it's mainly telling you what I just told you. This is a press release or a blog that it's more aimed to convince the business users on what or why would this feature change or improve what we have. So we start with a plan. We just, once we know the business challenge, we can just start diving. And yeah, this also another disclaimer, because I am one, and I know what we're capable, the mess that we're capable of making. Citizen developers, or I don't know what the name is these days, might need support of fusion teams that have been always working together. So ideally will be a work that I as a business user will not take on my own, business citizen developer, sorry, um, but I will work with my IT department or development department. So it sort of blends together both worlds in a way that it's functional but also compliant. Anyway, sorry for that disclaimer. Here we have like everything. We have the recording that which is the same recording that we just had a look at. Let's see if this plays. There you go. So it will give us pretty much the same. There's nothing, yeah, nothing too different from what we saw. Uh, the same here. So it's just a couple of videos telling you what I just did live for you. So if you want to have this, you want to convince someone or you want to show it to your boss and so on, maybe this is much more appealing than actually going to Microsoft documentation. So you can just share this. We can share it in the chat, or we can just, you can just have a look at it, and that will be more than enough. Okay, it gives you much more information, or it will give you much stuff. You can also ask to join. If I'm not mistaken, you should be able now to use it without requesting to join. And yeah, well, you have Clay, who was the one creating this document. Okay, good. Once we have this here and we convince our managers and our business users to do this, we can ask ourselves dive into the documentation. So we have, of course, here in the Power Apps documentation, we have the basic stuff, and then we go to the Plan Designer overview, and we have everything. So again, this is a preview feature. This is something that has not been it's not in GA yet, so yeah, just know that that will be disclaimed everywhere. And this one actually gives you all the steps and all the different yeah, explaining what things are where, and yeah, that is what it how it works, how it works. And okay, this is what I was telling you. This feature is in preview, and yeah, and of course, preview features are meant to work in production. They are meant to just, you know, try to trial, and then of course, if you have feedback, provide that feedback. Um, as I mentioned, here you have everything about what would you need. Actually, here they did the same that we did together, guys. So yeah, you just can have a look and scroll down. You have everything, probably things that I missed out. Yeah, you can just have a look at it. This is one of the things that you could use, and don't worry, because I'm going to give you a resource at the end that you can just go and don't miss any of those links. This one is really cool. We have this Power Apps documentation. We started, sorry, with here creates app. We were here and they use the Power App Plan Designer. But then if we scroll all the way up, we have this, sorry, where are we? Here, FAQ about the Plan Designer. So here we have like the frequent asked questions about what this is. And I would recommend you to have a look at this, and maybe it's very likely that some of the very tricky questions about licensing and stuff are not here. I would, yeah, I would just have to dive into the licensing guide to answer those questions. But maybe what it is, what, yeah, you know, what is the scope? Why do we have it? Why do we, yeah, why would I use this? Yeah, then we can, I didn't know how to hear this one, like how to measure the performance, but you can see that it's also providing this. And also, of course, with each of the things that are saying metrics and measuring performance, we might have a privacy statement. So the data, for people to feel comfortable with the data and so on, their data being shared. So everything is disclaimed. And yeah, anyway, cool. Then we have the limitations, and you can see here it might be somewhere over here. Okay, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not disclaiming the thing on the Power Automation, but you can see, for example, as I told you, the environment that might be it must be based in the US. For now, we only have English language supported, and then we have, you know, a certain amount of words and tokens that can be used, basically. And then we have operational factors, and how do I provide feedback to the plan designer? And you can also, of course, use the plan designer. Let's see if we go here. Let's see if we can ask this Copilot. Can you give me a too long didn't read summary of this page? Well, perfect. Uh, Sorry for that, but yeah, we could have, if we don't want to read it all, I mean, it's not too long, right? It's just, yeah, quite simple. But still, if we don't want to read it, we can go there. We can try to use the Copilot if it cooperates. Okay, so we review the three different resources that I had to share with you about, like the main resources that are official by Microsoft, which are the ones that please stick to those. And then here we have there's an article that I created that it's of course I move it into my space, which is HR. So I said plan designer for HR is the title, and basically it's not plan design for everything. Um, so yeah, I in this article I walk you through basically what we discussed. The only thing that I want to show to you that it's different, that I made that is quite different, um, that's quite different from what we just did in the demo, is that um, the app was created as we saw like this with pretty much very similar with different stuff because it was a career path application. But then here I I like to do stuff that looks nice. So I added a smiley face, and then for each of the different oops, sorry, for each of the different images or icons, I decided to add some cool stuff, and that made me really happy. Like it's very silly, but still. And here we also have, this is the canvas, of course, and then here we have a model driven and so on. So yeah, I will encourage you to just, if you want to, of course, just go to my website and you can see that in this article that I wrote, that it's called Plan Designer for HR, no, Plan Design for Everything. We have this, we have here the resources to check to go above and beyond, which are these three initial ones are the Microsoft officials, and these two are things that maybe they're not for you. That's fine. But basically, if you are not comfortable working with prompts, or you haven't worked, or maybe you want to play before just going into something like this on creating an entire plan, you can go to this article that I created that is called Master Prompt Engineer with Microsoft Designer. And we have people that don't like the prompt engineering word anymore, but whatever it is called, just know that knowing how to prompt is something that it's a skill that it's no longer nice to have. It's more like a must have. So instead of boring you with all of this, just know that there are some. What I did is basically specify, like, create two different prompts and give you examples on how a specific prompt and a bake prompt can can impact in the result. And I started using Microsoft Designer. For those who don't know, Microsoft Designer is a solution that is also AI powered, where you describe something that you want, like DAL-E stuff. You describe an image and it will create it. So here, for example, in the specific prompt, I gave like design a high-rise residential building with a focus on sustainable living, incorporate rooftop gardens and communal spaces, which I know it seems like completely unrelated to the plan designer, but if we don't know the basics on how to prompt, um, it will be horrible. So specific prompt is that one. Big prompt is make a tall building, and you can see that the result is so enriched if we provide more context and more information, right? Um, the same happens with the apps. The same exact same happens with the apps. So just keep an eye on this. I would highly recommend you to go and play with Microsoft Designer, regardless if you want to learn how to prompt or not. I would highly encourage you to do so. But yeah, it's a great example on how these cool things are, are helpful to learn some other things. Then there's another thing that might be interesting for you to dive, that it's how prompts that are quite similar produce different outcomes. And that is that's part of what AI, it's that's part of what AI is giving us. So maybe I ask something to a GPT solution, and my friend does the same, and probably my friend will get a different answer. So what I wanted to say with this is that maybe I prompt something and you prompt something, and we have different outcomes. As you can see here, these prompts are the same, but are written in a way that they put the things in different. So the content is the same. It's just the order is just different. So you can see 20-story, 100 square foot, uh, 20-story. Like, it's everything is there in both sides. But you can see also that the uh, the result is different. So the way we prompt, meaning the order where we provide the things, are just as important as how deep we go into the the characteristics, or the very specifics. And then here I have the working with AI prompts, which it's basically about how we work with AI prompts, how we can use and consume them in Power Apps, Power Automate, and Copilot Studio. So these two resources, these two last resources that I just shared with you, are more if you would like to start with prompting. And the rest of them are more like, yeah, I'm a pro, Anna. Thank you so much for this, but we don't need to go into the basics. Yeah, we can start from scratch. Yeah, I do have some, videos and so on, and things that might be interesting for you to have a look at. But if not, just stick to the other components. And please, please, regardless of what you would like to do, just know that this Microsoft Designer is amazing, and it's not only for prompting in terms of prompting images, but also for a lot of other like creative stuff that you want to like stupid, not stupid, but basic stuff like removing a background or creating a sticker through creating images in many different ways. So with that being said, and we still have 10 minutes remaining, but I run out of yeah, I think I'm bored of my own voice so far. So yeah, I would like to know if we have any questions in the chat that we would like to approach, and if not, I will have some closing words.
And now we do have a few questions in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, how does it know manager to employee relation?
That's a great question. I think it should be based on the Azure, well, Entra ID now, but that is something that I need to have a look because it's completely useless if I send them a request and then it gets lost because it doesn't know where to go. But that is something that I need to check in the back. I will retrieve back to you if you can reach out on LinkedIn. So I will do my homework.
And the follow-up question is it possible to integrate a chat that uses these tables and roles?
I mean, the tables will be in Dataverse, so you could use them. The chatbot will not be created on Plan Designer. You will need to do it yourself from scratch or with a Copilot support that you have to create a Copilot. But you could use the tables for sure.
And one more question is, does it integrate with existing security roles? Does it implement many-to-many relationship between tables?
I'm not sure, but the same. Just follow up on LinkedIn and we can have a look at it together. There's much more to explore about this feature that I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to make promises that I cannot keep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anna.
Of course, it's my pleasure. And just before leaving, I wanted to thank you everyone for tolerating me speaking 1 hour very enthusiastically about AI features in Power Platform. Also, as I said, reached out on LinkedIn, Ana Ines Urrutia. I don't think there's many of us with this name, so just feel free. You will find me. And yeah, I would love to connect with you and yeah, see what you can build on the Plans Designer.
Fantastic. Thank you again so much, Anna, for joining us on the Reactor today. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for joining us as well. And I am just taking one more minute to share our survey, our event survey. Feel free to scan the QR code on the screen if you would like to share your feedback. We love to receive feedback from our audience, so feel free to do so. The event code is 24785. And yeah, thank you again so much for today's session. And we're looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.